So we are talking about a guide and systematic way that young entrepreneurs can follow when they start up their business so that they increase the success chances of their business. So the startup compass theory was formulated and proposed by Baibars Altuntas.
Okay,
Yeah, I
we
guess
know very
everybody
well.
knows Baibars. And actually it reflects his own personal experience when he was starting up his own business. So we took, what was the need for such, for the startup compass theory? So I think we are still facing the consequences of the financial crisis evoked back in 2008 and 9, and especially in the European Union, okay, and let alone in the South Europe with Italy, Spain, and Greece. And entrepreneurship has been proposed as a viable solution to boost the competitive economy. And also, according to the World Bank, startups can be the backbone of entrepreneurship. So one thing is that we need startups, right?
Sure.
The other thing is that according to some statistics, the failure rate of the startups are pretty high, right? I think it's something like 7 or 8 out of 10 of the startups do fail.
Within the first 5 years. I mean, it's phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this partially attributed to the fact that there is no systematic way and guide that the young entrepreneurs can follow so that they can increase the success chances. So this is the gap and the aim of the startup compass theory.
All right, so you're looking to increase the ability of young entrepreneurs to have a much better chance of success
That's right.
in starting their business, so that the resources are used productively and then lead on to a successful
That's
business.
correct. This is what startup compass theory proposed, okay, and what Baibars proposed by the startup compass theory. So what we did as the Southeast European Research Center is that we did a little research, and we were interested in this theory, and we wanted to validate it and see whether it really works.
Because
so,
not everybody's a Baibars Altuntes. Maybe it works for him, but it might not work for other
Right,
people. So
right.
you wanted to get out and test it and see how effective it was. All right, understood. And how did you go about doing that?
All right, so we ran this research. Actually, we followed the qualitative approach. And
Yeah.
that means that we set up several interviews. Everything happened during the last year's World Business Angel Forum, again here in Istanbul in 2016. So we set up a couple of interviews with like-minded people.
Right.
Okay, and by like-minded people, I mean, again, successful entrepreneurs, business angels, and angel investors. So what we wanted to see is, we want to see whether they share the same opinion, okay, when it comes to the startup compass theory and what the startup compass theory proposes.
Right. So these weren't necessarily people that were using it, but these were people who were previously successful, and you wanted to see how much the theory aligned with what they had used to succeed themselves.
Right. That's
Is
correct.
that fair?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
And I would like to highlight that we were pretty strict in the selection criteria of those interviewees of the participants. So we focused on people with extensive experience in angel investment.
Okay.
Okay, this is one thing.
Experience.
Experience, geographically distributed around the world. So we interviewed participants coming from USA, from Europe, Africa, Middle East, and Asia. So all around the world.
So you're trying to get a global perspective and see if there's universal application of this theory.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And also, these people were interested in investing in several areas, like high technology companies, or health and lifestyle, and renewable resources. And the last point is that we were trying to select those people that they already had some successful exits in their portfolio. So again, this one was an important point for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once again, so you wanted to make sure that you had people that had experience.
Exactly.
You looked for geographical spread,
Right.
presumably to correct for culture.
Exactly.
And other types of political environments and those types of influences. You were looking for
Right.
people who had been successful, not just potentially successful. You know,
Yes.
my mother still thinks I have a lot of potential. Okay. And so this was how you chose your sample group of people that you wanted to
That's
talk to.
correct.
So you went in,
Yep.
you interviewed them, and then you found you had a methodology for assigning numerical values to the results.
Right. So we still we went back to the Southeast European Research Center in Greece, and we started analyzing the results. As I said, the first round we still it's a working paper, okay, and it's a research on progress. So we only have some preliminary results right now,
Okay.
based on the interviews. And
What,
yeah,
what do those results look like? You've got preliminary results. What are we looking at now?
right. Yeah, I mean, I may mention some key points
Okay.
of the results. All right, so one of the key points actually in the startup compass theory is the exploitation of the idle capacity.
The
And by
exploitation of the idea?
of idle.
Idle capacity.
Right, yeah, by
Okay.
idle capacity, the theory refers to these resources that they are offered to the young entrepreneurs for free, like office spaces or tools or equipments or some human resources. Okay, so that's a key point. And it ended up, after the analysis of the results, that also the participants were also agreed in this point that the idle capacity, it is a key point for the young entrepreneurs to exploit when they start up the companies.
So are you measuring how effective they are at exploiting idle capacity? Do they make use of it, or do they just let it sit idle? Is that what you're measuring?
We wanted to check whether other people, and by other people, I mean the other angel investors, share the same idea and the same mindset as the startup compass theory when it comes to using idle capacity.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Another interesting point, I don't know about the time, but I would
good.
like to, yeah, I would like to highlight is about innovation. So another point mentioning in the startup compass theory is that the product, of course, needs to be innovative, or at least it needs to have a certain degree of innovative features. All right. And of course, this idea is also shared with our participants, okay,
Right.
during the interviews. And I would like to add here one answer, stressing on the fact of speed also. In addition to innovation, it says that you need to be fast enough to deliver the innovation you promise at a short time. Because innovation doesn't last forever, okay?
Right.
It has an expired date. So
Sure.
that was an interesting point. And we also have some few answers that they were saying, actually, were claiming that too much of innovation may have also some negative effects. And what might this be? Is that if your product is completely innovative,
Yes.
right, then you may not have your market ready then to accept your product.
Right.
And that means that you need to spend time and money to create your market. Okay?
Right, so you not only create the product, but if you're too far out ahead, then you have to create the market as well. Like, I mean, Steve Jobs was famous for saying, you know, people don't know what they want. People didn't know what they wanted until I invented it. But he was a pretty unusual guy.
Exactly.
And most entrepreneurs, if they can get too far out in front of the market, is what you're saying.
Right.
Okay, any other conclusions from the preliminary research you've done?
I think these were the two key points.
All right.
Of course, maybe by the way, I can mention that the preliminary findings are in a booklet that are distributed to you in the bag when you registered at the registration desk.
Okay, so people
So
have
you
the
can
research
read-
report in their bag. So people look for the research report. Apparently, you've got a copy of it. I better make sure I get one for myself.
Right.
Sounds good. So, but you know, you've said that this is preliminary research. That suggests there's going to be more to come, or the main body of research.
Right,
Have you got plans? You and the professor have plans?
Exactly. So, like I said, at this point we use a qualitative approach. We are planning to use also a quantitative approach.
Right.
And that means that we did build a questionnaire, again, based on the startup compass theory. And we did distributed this to a big number, again, of successful entrepreneurs and angel investors all around the world. So last year we only had a small pool, okay? So it was nine interviews.
Sure.
Right now we are distributing it to hundreds of like-minded people,
Okay.
so that we can gather even more data. And then
Right.
we wanted to analyze this data, and then I think we're gonna have more fruitful and interesting results. And this is also the beginning of a set of tools that we are planning to build in order to help the angel investors when they want to invest in a particular market or in a particular region.
Right.
And for example, other kind of tools might be again, focused research and interviews with local business agent networks that they can also serve as a contact point when you want to invest, for example, in Greece or in the wider Balkan region.
Right.
Workshops and other kind of events.
Okay, sounds good. Are you going to be cross-referencing your results against other factors like region or the political or regulatory environments to see if the theory works better in some places than others?
Right. Yeah, we are planning to do that, and hopefully, when we get these results, based on the questionnaires, which are distributed all around the world, we're going to have more data to analyze and build our results on.
All right, can we count on you to report back at next year's World Business Angel Investment Forum?
Absolutely.
All right, sounds good. Kvitos, thank you very much for filling in today
Thank you very
and
much.
letting us know how things are going with the Startup Compass theory. Thank you very much.